Yo, what is up, bros? I am back. I have returned to make the case for another God tier general. Let's take a look real quick at what we got left. So I got Tito, obviously, Model, Patton, De Gaulle, not Govorov, not Halsey, not Kuznetsov, and not Auchinleck. I got Rundstedt, I got Bach. So I've seen out of these four bros that I don't have. Obviously, Auchinleck is pretty new. Let me give you guys some advice because I see this question in the comments a lot. Best generals to make a god tier. Obviously, I would start with Patton. Then I would go De Gaulle. If you have a lot of good generals already, I might go Tito next. Just for that massive economic boost. If you don't have a lot of good generals, Bach is a good tank general. Rundstedt, I would probably get after Tito, to be honest. Since I've got him, he makes a pretty big difference. I'm not gonna lie. Model, I am not happy with whatsoever. Anyways, our next god tier general, I've seen a lot of bros say Kuznetsov is very good. I've seen bros talk about Govorov. I haven't seen too many people talk about Halsey. The reception to Auchinleck has been kind of, you know, half and half. With that, bros, the next god tier general that I will be making the case for is God Govorov. Now, I've got to do it because I'm going to be making the tournament for the 6-star artillery ability generals. It's going to take me a little bit of time to get all the bros together, but I am going to do that. But besides just needing him for that, obviously I'm going to keep him after I do the tournament. Like I said, the comments have been pretty good about God Govorov. Real quick, bros, before we get too far into this, I got to give a shout out, boom, to the member bros with a special thank you to our emperors and Field Marshals Emperor, Rear Field Marshals, Tricky3452, and DN, along with all you other colonels and privates. Thank you for becoming members and supporting the channel. You allow me to buy a bunch of stupid crap that I normally wouldn't if you weren't supporting the channel. With that, bros, let's take a... You know what? Let's not take a look yet and just upgrade him. Let's just start upgrading him and we'll see what changes and then we'll be surprised by the end result. Alright, the first upgrade... Look at how... 4 bros. I think I did pick Govorov, actually. Didn't I pick Govorov as one of the possibilities? Because he is such crap. I mean, it's just horrible. Jungle fighting. Alright, bro. Anyways, let's go ahead and get our first upgrade. So, we are gaining that 5th perk slot. We will be gaining an additional movement, which bro definitely needs. And for the next upgrade, we are gaining his new perk, another star in a movement. Let's check this out. All right. Coordinated counterattack. When commanding artillery units, the unit is not affected by skill effect that disable counterattack. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, the amount of times that is actually... I mean, think of all the generals and think about how many of those have some ability to disable your counterattack. It's not much, right? It's not too many. I don't know. I don't really care for that. The second part, when a surrounding friendly unit counterattacks, there's a 100% chance to join the counterattack. I do like that. However, I wish you could see it. I mean, nobody's sitting there without speeding up the AI's turn, right? And watching to see if this bro gets off a counterattack when some other bro counterattacks. I wish it would, I mean... I wish they would have just made it something like Eichelberger where you attack and then some other bro around you attacks. But then it wouldn't be a coordinated counterattack anymore, would it? Alright, the second new perk is Deep Operation. This one I really do like. When commanding artillery units, dealt damage plus 20% to enemies 2 or more hexes away. I thoroughly enjoy that. And of course, rounding it out with artillery leader, let's hit it. Nice. Let's go ahead and fully upgrade this. So it's going to be 25. Nice. Obviously put this up to 40% chance for the crit strike. Get that 2 more movement in. Upgrade his title or rank. Give him all that health that he would need, that a good little God Govorov needs. Alright, so let's think about this. He is going to end up with 4 distinct attack perks, which... let's go ahead and start moving him. Move him up to the artillery bros. Obviously, it's a no-brainer. Yuramenko is such crap. Alright, well, we'll leave him right there for now. We'll go through these. Okay, so he's going to have 4 distinct attack perks. When you're looking at Yuramenko, hold fast, whatever. Bro does has inspiration, crossfire, lame, and then 2 attack perks. So he has more attack perks than Yuramenko. Obviously, more than Bruchminati. More than Libby Boy. We get to Eichelberger, who has an amphibious warfare one, and then machinist. So he's got more than Eichelberger. We start getting in the range of Konev, who has a raider. So what I'm looking at, I'm imagining, hold on, let's take a look. So they'll both have these 2, because one of the perks I'm putting on them obviously is accuracy. We already got a bro for the walking Stuka, so I'm not going to put inspiration on him, because the chance of that triggering on a unit that just is able to fire once is not very high. But I do put it on a general like this, where he has all the perks we already need. He's got artillery leader, he's got accuracy, he got inferior victory, right? So with those 3 perks on, there's not much else better than inspiration, even though the chance of triggering firing once is not as high as throwing on a tank bro. So we got Brook. Same with Brook. Actually, Brook, I was originally going to have as the walking Stuka bro. Remember, he was going to be the walking Stuka bro. And then it became De Gaulle when we found out De Gaulle has a firepower blockade. Anyways, let's head back to our boy Govorov and go ahead and get accuracy. Max that out. And then I don't even remember where it's at. Inferior victory. I'm starting to get so many generals now that, I mean, I guess I'll be okay, because none of these lower generals have inferior victory. I was going to say, some of these generals aren't going to even be on elite units anymore, so it doesn't even make sense to have inferior victory on them. Well, I guess we got to kind of move him where we think he's going to be, so we can rob the ribbons from some other bros and put on him. So I think we decided he's definitely in probably this range right here. Could be as high as 4th or as low as 6th. But probably, hold on, bros, let me look at Konev one more time. I mean, they both have artillery leader. They both have accuracy. They both have inferior victory. They both have a perk that isn't direct damage. He has inspiration. Govorov has deep operations, which is going to be active at all time, right? I think Govorov is going to end up better than Konev. Yeah, let's hit it. Now let's take another close look at Brook. Alright, Brook. What was this again? When friendly troops within 1 grid around you are killed in battle, you will gain the Vengeance status with an attack plus 30 for 2 turns. where do we rank that? You know what? We need to just save this for the tournament. Let's just forget about that. Let's just test Govorov out. I think this is a good spot for him. Right in here. Maybe, yeah, let's do it. That means robbing Konev and a lower of all their ribbons. Alright, I got Govorov all decked out. You know what? I'll do a little mini test, right? Because I don't want to give too much away because we are going to be doing the tournament, but we'll do a few fires with Govorov and then throw all the best medals on Zhukov and kind of see where those two match up. Alright, bros, for a quick test, this is what I decided to do. An excellence medal, you better not leave me here for 30 minutes trying to get this done. We're going to give Govorov and Zhukov 5 hits on Paris. We're not keeping track of exact damage. We'll save that for the tournament. We will just be seeing like how much health the city has, if any, De Gaulle's health, if he even lives through this, and we can do it from range. With that, bros, let's go. He's getting some good hits in. Come on, excellence medal one more time, please. Thank you. Govorov left De Gaulle with 100 health and completely obliterated the city of Paris. Impressive. All right, let's give Zhukov a shot. Now, this is going to favor Zhukov because we're firing multiple times and Bro God's inspiration, all right? So I do realize that. There's that 400 with the 500. One more, please, after this. Nice. Bros. He beat him by 70 damage. But he did it without inspiration triggering on the second hit like Zhukov did. That's actually really surprising. Damn, I thought the distance between them would be a lot more than that. Maybe I Zhukov ranked too high. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe after this tournament, I'm gonna have to look at the rankings that I have these bros at. Because Govorov just threw down. I mean, damn. He might be ahead of Brook, huh? Damn, he might be in the top 3. We'll just have to wait for testing, but damn. That's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. That was unexpected. That'd be like coming in the tanks and having like... That'd be like making Godbach, thinking he's gonna be pretty decent, and then just to find out he's right below Monstein. My whole life doesn't even make sense anymore. Alright, bros. Well, there's our new God tier. General, I mean, who's next? I don't know who I would get next between these 3. I mean, honestly, I'm really buying them just because I've already done all the other bros. And maybe one will be a nice, pleasant surprise. But, I mean, I wouldn't buy them, you know, if I hadn't already got... What do I got? 7 of them now? Anyways, bros, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you're enjoying this content, you know what to do. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, make your next upload up. Peace.